Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are out there in the world. We are going to be delving deep into the secrets behind Hedera and Microsoft. Listen, this is one of those partnerships that I think are already there, but maybe there's like an NDA in place or something, because listen, for the last, I want to say like 2+ years, we have been discussing the possibilities of Microsoft working with Hedera, what they could be doing with Hedera. We have seen some hints at it, which we will go over in this video, but hopefully by the end of this video, maybe you guys also have an answer to this, because in my opinion, I am pretty much on par with the idea that guess what? Hedera is working with Microsoft. There is no doubts about it. And I do believe that at some point in time, Hedera is going to announce that Microsoft is a new GC member. So with that in mind, let's talk about a few things before we get into the deep and juiciness of Microsoft working with Hedera. So first off, network, right? Year to date, we're talking about 10,000 plus TPS max. Average TPS this year has been 1,000. 30 billion transactions on Hedera, which is absolutely insane. Outside of that, finality looks very good in terms of consensus. Also, account growth. 1.3 million active accounts. Listen, during a bear market, 1.3 million active accounts is pretty significant. Also, created accounts, 2.53 million as well. Really just shows you how big of a player Hedera has become this year alone. Love to see the growth here. Obviously, yes, I know everyone's going to say, when is this going to, lead to value on the network for Hbar to move in price? And it's going to take some time. Listen, we've done the math. 30 billion transactions is not too much money on the network, and it's not enough to impact the price of Hbar. But I do believe that very soon, with more and more institutions and enterprises jumping into crypto, we are going to see Hedera become a major platform for these enterprises and institutions to build out solid projects that demand scalability much beyond what we are actually even seeing on this screen alone, which is going to, of course, lead to actual value driven on the network, which will impact Hbar in my opinion. But also outside of this, we have also seen the entire ecosystem grow tremendously this year as well. In my opinion, I mean, listen, outside of price action, it's been an incredible year to be an Hbarbarian. We have so many great projects building out on the ecosystem. DeFi applications, social fi applications, gaming, metaverse. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And there's even very unique use cases within here as well, from, drone activity to even micropayments and so much more. I mean, it's truly something to embrace if you are a holder of Hbar, and you need to be aware of these big moves happening on Hedera, because again, it all is significant for the network and adoption of the network. So definitely make sure that you are paying attention to that. And of course, the GC, right? We have seen the GC grow. We are still away from the overall amount of GC members that they wanted on here initially, but we have seen some great ones announced this year, and I think that this is only going to continue. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing the next big one. I do believe that it could very well be Microsoft. The next GC announcement, if my math is correct and if it is aligning perfectly with the patterns, we should see a new GC announced within the next 2 to 3 months. I do think that Q1 of 2024 is when we are going to see a lot of big announcements around this entire space. And I do think that at that point, Hedera is also going to erupt, not only in value, but also attention as well. But also, a lot has been announced on the network. I mean, the Stablecoin Studio is a big deal. This one was a huge announcement that we did go over heavily because, again, as we really look at stablecoins, we know that this year has been fully focused on stablecoin initiatives, tokenization initiatives, and a lot of other great initiatives as well, like CBDCs and things like that. But stablecoins and tokenization, which Hedera has become a spotlight player within, have become two major talked about discussions. And even regulations around them is being brought in heavily, and they're already passing bills, or talking about passing bills, they're looking into a lot of things. So again, 2024 looks to be shaping up to be a big monstrous year for a lot of these utility gems and projects. And also down here, we can see stablecoins built on Hedera. Again, like as we look at the adoption here, there's quite a bit of adoption already for Hedera. It's very exciting. It's very incredible to see how fast Hedera has moved as well. I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think that there's ever been another player like this that's moved this fast in such a short amount of time. And yes, I'm even talking about Ripple, and I'm even talking about XRP. Hedera has truly become a massive player in the space. Also, Guardian. The Guardian is a big one as well. This is sustainability assets verification and tokenization on the public ledger. Again, this is going to be brought up in this video later on because this is a big player within the overall enterprise sector. And it seems as though, guess what? There's some significant connections here. Now, let's look into what I have been saying over time. So, and by the way, there's posts from 2021 as well regarding this, but I said it's actually crazy to see how many connections just one use case on HBAR has to hundreds of Fortune 500 companies. Avery Dennison's Atma.io literally has connections to MasterCard, Adidas, Microsoft, US FDA, and numerous other large names, companies, and groups, HBAR. And yeah, again, this is one that's been connected to the Guardian. It's also one that has been really ramping up the transactions on Hedera. We've seen that back in January of this year, and it's one that I've been fully focused on with all of the major connections to it. Also, not to mention ServiceNow, which is right down here. ServiceNow is connected to 80% of the Fortune 500 as well. That's a significant player, and even I believe Microsoft might be connected to ServiceNow. I think I'm right on that from when we did look over it. But also, I said I just want to know when Hedera is going to announce Microsoft as a GC member, because all I see is connections between the two with every HBAR partnership. And this was back in July of 2022, and even today, this has become even more prominent. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, because we have started to see a lot of discussions and posts regarding secret connections with Hedera and Microsoft yet again. December 9th, we've seen this. Did you know that Hedera and Microsoft partnered up at an interwork alliance to build the Guardian, unlocking a $250 billion industry? After COP28 and HBAR's partnership with the United Nations, the open source platform is set to become the global standard. Again, bringing the balance sheet of the world to Hedera. And when you see dig the write-ups, Microsoft has many connections with various Hedera projects. It's fascinating looking back over the years. And yeah, again, I do question when we are going to see a GC announcement, because it's been so long and there's been so many connections over time, and it's just it's something to me that is brewing, and we're kind of waiting to see if this is an NDA or what. But there's no way in my mind that Microsoft isn't going to be a GC at some point in time. You see over here though, this is written by Shayan Saleha. I'm probably butchering that name, but it was one day ago. How Microsoft and Hedera quietly partnered to save the planet while unlocking a $250 billion industry. And within this, we do see the Interwork Alliance, an initiative of the Global Blockchain Business, GBBC, empowers organizations to adopt and use token-powered services in their day-to-day operations across use cases and networks, bringing inclusivity to globally distributed applications. Microsoft, Accenture, and Hedera are part of this application, or this alliance, and collaborated on Project Guardian. Project Guardian has now morphed into the Hedera Guardian. The Hedera Guardian is an open source platform that utilizes the Hedera Public Distributed Ledger Network to facilitate digital-first sustainability policies and enable DMRV, digital measurement, reporting, and verification requirements-based tokenization implementation. It plays a crucial role in safeguarding the planet by addressing several key challenges in the sustainability and environmental sectors. Enhancing transparency and robustness of carbon offset programs, the Hedera Guardian ensures that carbon offset programs are transparent and verifiable, combating fraud and establishing trust in the carbon offset market. It provides an immutable record of emission reductions and offsets, enabling anyone to trace the life cycle of carbon credits from their creation to their retirement. And again, as we look at all of the big players on board with this, it's significant leaders around our entire system. It's kind of crazy to see how entrenched Hedera has become. And there's a lot within this, right? Like, for an example, here are the key pillars behind this: decentralization and security, scalability and efficiency, data integrity and transparency, open source and collaborative, regulatory compliance and ESG integration, cost effectiveness and accessibility, cross-border capability and global impact. In summary, the Hedera Guardian stands out as a transformative technology that addresses the challenges of climate change and environmental degradation. Its decentralized nature, scalability, data integrity, open source approach, cost effectiveness, and global reach makes it a powerful tool for driving positive change and safeguarding the planet for future generations. And remember, right, we are seeing major change on the forefront of this, and we know how big of an opportunity this actually is. But outside of that, we know that enterprises are going to be under pressure because there is going to be mandatory restrictions and regulations around carbon offsets, carbon credits, and even just carbon in general for these major players. And that's where, again, I start to see the bigger picture here, which is Hedera has become a prominent leader in the enterprise grade sector and even beyond. And even if we go back to the Hedera Guardian and we go to the use cases here, we can actually see that within sustainability here, there's 2 pages of major players here. And a lot of these are very large players in the overall scheme of things, especially around sustainability. And we've even talked about like Timeless, for an example, in the past. I mean, there's some great projects here, even Dovu. I'm telling you guys, pay attention to what Hedera has been doing around the enterprise grade sector. Now, also remember the significant first connection that we found with Hedera and Microsoft, which was through mtech. mtech is that modern central banking platform that they're pretty much trying to build out, like this infrastructure layer, if you will, for. And they've become a pretty prominent name as well. And we scroll down and we could see partnered with industry leaders. And here we have Hedera Hashgraph, IBM. We even see Microsoft and MasterCard here. And there's a few other players as well tied to this. But remember, Hedera, if we go back to the GC, we could see that IBM is here. We could also see that if we go back to mtech, right? If we go back over here, we could see that outside of IBM, right, a lot of these other players on here have ties back to a few players that are tied in with mtech outside of the partnerships here. Also with Microsoft or with MasterCard, we know that Hedera has been working with MasterCard, even with Ripple as well, on a lot of CBDC initiatives. So it's definitely interesting to see MasterCard partnering with mtech on this initiative. But Microsoft is, again, a standout one, because if we go back to the original PDF file for the Project New Dawn white paper, and if we actually read this and scroll down, so 1 second while this loads, and if we scroll down, we can actually see at the bottom here, because I've already gone over this multiple times, we could see the only 3 major partners here, which were Hedera and Microsoft and NYU. So think about that, right? Because we look at all of the major connections here back to Microsoft. Like, I don't understand how we haven't seen an announcement yet regarding Microsoft and Hedera. I just don't understand how this could be under wraps for this long. And this is also why I've talked about this so heavily. And this is also why I've been saying, like, it's only a matter of time until we actually see the GC announcement. And imagine what that will do. Imagine how big that will be. Because I don't know if you guys remember when Google got announced as a GC for Hedera, but the space erupted. And even during 2021, when we start to see a lot more people finding out about Hedera, again, they noted all of the big leaders on the GC. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time until we see Microsoft. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.